Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this channel. Now, from many of the comments I've read on the videos I've done so far, some of you are requesting me to do videos on company law. So this video is talking about a fundamental principle in company law, the foundational principle of company law, the concept of corporate personality. It's a very short video, and I'm explaining this principle in a very simple way, again for my business law students, so that they can be able to understand this fundamental concept that applies to all companies all over the world. I hope you enjoy this video. So what does this corporate personality principle mean? Corporate personality means that a company is a separate item or a separate institution or concept from the people who own the company. For example, Barclays Bank Limited, the bank itself is a separate entity from the owners of the bank, from the shareholders of the bank. So you find that when, for example, I open up a company or I establish or register a company, me, Esther, I am very different from the company itself, and in law, I am not the same person. So if I commit a crime, they cannot arrest or fine the company because the two of us are different institutions or different entities. So you find that the concept of corporate personality means that the company, which is an artificial person, is separate and distinct from the owners of the company, the Esters, who are the natural persons. So in other words, corporate personality means the company has its own personality, its own nature, and it means that the company in law is deemed as an individual, an artificial person. So that is what corporate personality is all about. The company is separate and distinct from the owners of the company, that there are two different entities when we talk about a company. Barclays Bank is one entity and the shareholders are a different entity. So corporate personality is obtained once a company is registered. So if I wake up and I say I want to open up my company called Babi Limited, once I go through the registration process and establish it and get a certificate of registration, then my company has corporate personality. But what does that mean, that it has corporate personality? One, it means that the company now has direct responsibility for all its affairs. In other words, all the dates and actions that take place are the responsibility of the company. They are no longer the responsibility of the people who are forming the company. It also means that the company can sue and can be sued. That's why you find companies in Uganda that are having or breaking the law, they are sued directly. They don't sue the owners of the company, they come for the company itself. Because in law, it is a distinct person. So once it has corporate personality or once it has been registered, the company can sue and can be sued. It also means that the company can contract, number 3 here. It can enter into contracts to buy land, to buy cars, to hire people. All those employment contracts are between your companies and yourself, because the company is a legal person in law. It means the company can own property. It can buy cars, it can buy land, it can buy shares, it can own other companies because it is a legal person or it has corporate personality. It means here, number 5, that the company can borrow money. They don't have to lend the money to the people who establish the company. The company can take on the loan on its own. And number 6, perpetual succession. It means that the company lives longer than the owners. So if I own the company and I died, the company would still live on because it has perpetual succession. It lives in perpetuity, in other words, forever until it's shut down legally or it's wound up. So these are the concepts, or these are the characteristics of corporate personality, or these are the things that show or that are obtained when a company is registered. So this principle of corporate personality was established by a case called Salmon versus Salmon. This case of Salmon is the leading case on corporate personality. You do not talk about corporate personality and you don't mention Salmon versus Salmon. Even if you're sleeping and they say Salmon versus Salmon, automatically you should know that is corporate personality. So let's go through the case. What did the case say? So Salmon he carried on a business as a leather merchant. Okay, in 1892, he converted his business. Originally, he was just doing his business, just hustling. Then in 1892, he decided to register the business. He converted it into a limited liability company. We shall see what this means. by forming the company Salmon and Company Limited. So this company was consisting of himself, Salmon, his wife, and his 5 children as shareholders or as members. But Salmon was an MD and he had the majority shares. Now, as soon as or shortly after he registered this company, the company got issues and was closed down legally a year later. Because the company didn't have enough assets to pay off the people who it owed, the creditors. The creditors came for Salmon personally, the MD, the majority shareholder, saying that new Salmon, give us your money because your company still owes us money. So what did court hold? What did the court say? Court said that the company in law was a different person altogether from the owners or from the subscribers or members. And the members, the Salmons, cannot be liable for the acts of Salmon and Company Limited. They cannot be liable for the acts of the company because these are 2 distinct persons. So you find that this case is a leading case on Salmon versus Salmon. And you find that the reason many rich people use companies, the reason you see companies, is because people don't want to be personally liable for issues. So you find if I'm doing business as a businessman and maybe my truck knocks someone, if the truck belongs to me, I will be fined or even imprisoned. If the truck belongs to the company or is registered in the names of the company, because the company is a separate entity from me, the company will be the one to pay the fine, not me personally. They will not come for me personally. So this is a winning point of the concept of corporate personality and the very biggest reason why people do companies, because they are they're protecting themselves from personal responsibility, because they themselves, the owners of the company, are separate and distinct or different from the company itself. So in closing, what am I saying? I'm saying that corporate personality means that a company is a separate person from the owners. 2 different people, 2 distinct personalities. And this corporate personality principle is what differentiates companies from other business organizations. For example, from NGOs, from partnerships, because in a company there are 2 people, the owners are different from the company itself. So it means a company enjoys its own rights, but it also has its own responsibilities that are separate and distinct from those of the owners of the company. And you find this is why most people do companies, that's because they don't want to be personally responsible for any of the challenges that the company or the doing business through the company might face. I hope this has made the concept of corporate personality very simple. Should you have any other issue you want me to talk about, do not hesitate to write it down in the comments. I'll read them and I'll address them. Thank you for watching.